You got him, Mr. Kurtz? All right. It's true. That was a great shot, Mr. Kurtz. I tell you what, let's see that garfish. That's a nice one.
He's okay.
Isn't he, though?
Well, I don't feel like cutting my hand open up this mouth.
Right. Hey, well, we've done real well so far, you know?
Well, yeah, we're really on the good spot here.
Re- Uh-huh. Welcome to Acadiana Outdoors. I'm Byron Briggs. I'm your host today, and I have Julian Kurtz with me today. Mr. Kurtz, thank you for coming by the show today.
It's a real pleasure, Byron.
Today we're going to show you an exciting show. It's on bow fishing. I had the pleasure of going out with Mr. Kurtz and Sylvan Davey this past weekend on a trip that I just couldn't believe. Tell us how you got into that, Mr. Kurtz.
Well, I never was too much of a great fisherman. It seemed as though every time I went out fishing, the fish weren't biting. So I'd been shooting a bow and arrow since 1943 and when I was in the Scouts. So I got the wild idea. I saw a Howard Hill little short subject on bow fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, that must have been 30 years ago.
Really?
And I said, you know, that looked like it would be fun. So I prepared a very makeshift rig, which really didn't work very well, but I had fun with it and never did an awful lot with it. And then I finally found out that all sorts of really official bow fishing equipment is available. That's when I got a reel, heavy line, fiberglass arrows with rubber fletch, and special bow fishing points which can be unscrewed and screwed on, and really got into it big, maybe 10 years ago.
Yes, sir.
But never really did a lot of good until about 7 years ago when I got Sylvan interested in it. Because you got to have a man to operate
You
the
got to have
boat.
right. A good partner.
Oh, it's not that difficult to throw a spear or shoot the bow. But if you don't have a great boat operator, you're not going to do any good at all.
Right. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Kurtz, our viewers are going to see this film. I mean, it's just excellent. Also, I want to say, I know you've been a big civic leader here in St. Landry Parish for a number of years, and you also are a member of the St. Landry Parish Solid Waste Commission, which is in charge of the trash pickup in the parish. I wanted to briefly just talk about that just a minute, about the trash out on our biobanks, Mr. Kurtz. I mean, it's getting... I know y'all doing a great job, of course, and y'all continuing to do a good job, but I want to just talk briefly about that.
It really is discouraging, Byron. As you know, Sylvan and I go out almost every week, 12 months a year, and we pick up a lot of trash just routinely.
Yes, sir.
When there's no fish or it's dull, we'll go around, we'll throw the spears at tin cans, aluminum cans, and put them in the boat, and we'll pick up styrofoam and put it in the boat, and we regularly pick up corks. It's just stuff that clutters up everything. And 2 or 3 years ago, it seems as though a scout troop or some group of young people went out and picked up bags and bags of trash. And I was thinking at that time, gee, wouldn't it be nice if people quit littering? But they haven't quit littering.
No.
And you know, I believe it's against the law to throw a beer can out of a boat,
Yes, sir, it is.
just like it is to throw a beer can out of a car. So it's very discouraging to look at it. It clutters up the scenery. And of course, one of the worst things is all these trot lines that they leave out, the gill nets that are out there. Remember, we saw on Saturday. It's terrible. It's really terrible. Of course, I don't know what to do about it, but it would be very nice if the public would quit littering and at least do their part.
You know, I went fishing the other day with a friend of mine, and he told me, he says, you know, I own a portion of this lake just like every other public citizen, and I don't want my portion being littered. And he says, if I see somebody littering, I'm going to write the number of that boat down, and I'm going to turn them in, and I'm going to have them fined and put in and picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no question. I mean, he was very serious about it, and of course, there is a penalty for littering in the bar banks.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Let's go on and let's go on out to 2 o'clock and show our viewers our
All right.
our fishing trip, and it was an exciting one, and I know they're going to really enjoy it. So let's go on out to 2 o'clock bar.
Fine.
What we'll do, I'll be standing here on the front end of the boat thusly. I'll be holding the arrow and the spear. Obviously, 5 spear points as opposed to 1 arrow point, you're going to do a lot better if you can spear them instead of having to shoot them. But it just depends on what the situation is. A couple of years ago we didn't have spears, but it's easy to get spoiled with 5 points instead of 1 point.
Yeah, I can
So, and sometimes you see 2 or 3 go fish.
Really?
And you throw the spear at one, and then you shoot the bow at the other one. We've gotten doubles, and Silverman, we've gotten triples even.
Oh.
That's not often, but we've done it.
What you think our chances are today of getting 1 or 2 goldfish, huh,
Well,
Sylvan?
yeah, what do you think?
Very good, okay.
The only hassle is that you know we've had a lot of rain in the
I know.
last 2 or 3
It's liable
days.
to be real muddy.
Well, no, I don't think it'll be muddy, but it's amazing how much change in the water just a little rain can make. We've gone on a Saturday and mopped up and going back the following Tuesday and not seen a fish. But I really expect us to do some good today.
Good. Let's go on out there.
Good.
Here we are in 2 o'clock bar, and of course Mr. Kurtz and Sylvan David are right up in front of us. There's a beautiful bar in here. The cypress trees, and we're going to show you a lot of views today of what it looks like out here.
I thought it was a crawfish.
Oh. You got him? All right, Mr. Kurtz. Good.
Okay. In order to immobilize this fish, you grab him and
Yes, sir.
break his neck.
Okay.
Oh, God, did I get him? Okay.
Boy, that's great, isn't it?
That was pretty lucky. You don't normally hit him like that.
Is that right?
Yeah, but we'll take it.
All right. That's good. Nothing? Oh. You got him? Oh yeah, Mr. Kurtz. That's a nice fish.
It's a good shot.
Good shot.
But we'll take it.
I'm telling you, isn't that a good shot? Let me see it, Mr. Kurtz.
When you get one this small, it's mostly luck.
Really? That was a great shot with that bow.
Well,
You got him, Mr. Kurtz? All right. It's true. That was a great shot, Mr. Kurtz. I tell you what, let's see that garfish. That's a nice one.
he's okay.
Isn't he, though?
Well, I don't feel like cutting my hand open, opening up his mouth.
Right. Mr. Kurtz, a while ago I saw Sylvan picking up trash.
Yeah. The aluminum cans are just disgusting.
You know, in a beautiful bar like this that's hundreds and hundreds of years old, it is a shame for people to come out and throw
The worst
trash.
part of it is that about a year or so ago, a scout troop came out here one day and picked up bags and bags of it along the bank.
Is that right?
And it just right back.
Yes,
It's
sir.
just disgusting.
It really is, you know, and we try and tell all our viewers not to throw trash when they're out on the bar banks and, you know, plastic bags, Coke cans and all that.
It's really terrible. We pick up stuff constantly. Of course, if we picked up everything we saw, we wouldn't have any room in the boat.
You got him?
Yeah. Hold on.
You got him, Mr. Kurtz?
Give me another spear, quick.
Golly. You hit him with 1 hour and 2 spears?
Well, I don't know how good I got him, and I don't want to lose it.
No, sir.
I got him good now. He ain't going anywhere.
He's not, huh? Watch your bow there, Mr. Kurtz. I don't know if it floats. If it didn't float, you'd have lost it a long time ago, huh, Sylvan?
Yep. Well,
There he is.
as it turns out, he wasn't going anywhere.
I'm telling you. That's pretty. Well, we got another one. That was a good shot.
Good second.
Wasn't it, though?
Really good. Hot work.
It is.
Hot.
That sure is a lot of fun, though, I'll tell you.
Tremendous fun.
Now, how long y'all been doing this?
Several years.
We're going on our 7th year.
7 years.
As a team.
As a team. Well, I can see that the boat drive is one of the most important
the
people.
boat drive is the most important part. Believe me, I've tried running this boat.
Uh-huh.
Fortunately, Sylvan's willing to do it.
Talk about.
Because I've tried running it, and I'm not anything at it.
Well, he does a great job with it. I mean, he puts you in the spots right where they are. You got him? Oh, yes, sir.
Like I said, that's not a very big...
You got him? You got him, Sylvan?
We both got him.
Y'all both got him. That's great.
Take a look at this teamwork over here.
I'm telling you, that is teamwork. Now, you don't have to worry about him taking off, huh, Sylvan? There he is. That's a nice gore.
Dead center, both spears.
I'm telling you. Good shot, Sylvan. That was a good shot.
That was a great shot.
It really was.
That was a very nice fish.
It is, isn't it?
Very nice fish, but he only got 4 out of 5 points in it.
Oh, okay.
Slipping.
You're slipping, huh, Phil?
I'm slipping.
Now, Mr. Kurz, what kind of fishing license you say you need to bow hunt and?
Just a regular fishing license.
Yes, sir.
I'm over 60, so I don't need one at all.
Uh
And next year, Sylvan will be in the same category.
huh.
But a regular fishing license
Really?
is all that's required.
Now, can you catch brim and bass?
No
Not-
game fish.
No game fish at all. Okay, because I
and
know.
actually, we've been told with a spear, all you can catch is garfish.
Uh huh.
Now, I can shoot with the bow, garfish, carp, buffalo, mullet, catfish,
Yes, sir.
shoepick, but
But
as
no-
we understand the law, anything that can be commercialized except a gall cannot be stuck with a spear,
Uh huh.
which I personally find rather absurd, but we don't make the laws, we just have to live with them.
Right.
I might add that I've written the legislature, Wildlife Association, I don't know how many times, trying to get some of these laws passed or changed, because from a practical standpoint, how many game fish can you shoot with a bow and arrow?
Well, that's true. You know.
You go fishing with a rod and reel, you can get 15 bass.
Uh huh. But now the limit's 8.
Well, whatever the limit is,
Right.
show you how long it's been since I've fished with a rod and reel.
Uh huh.
But the point is, I couldn't shoot 8 bass if my life depended on it.
No,
But all ideas die hard.
that's true.
So
Let's take a look in that ice chest, see what we have right now. Boy, I'm gonna tell you what, we are doing real well.
yeah, we got 2, 4, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 fish.
7 fish.
Yeah. But
And nobody fell out of the boat yet?
not yet. Not yet.
Any minute now.
Any minute.
Time though, it
Yeah.
happens.
Any minute now, I'll go swimming.
Right.
Just a thump. It sounds like you're hitting a sandpaper when you hear one.
Got him, Mr. Kurtz? Oh, yeah, that's another gar.
I didn't have it good, but I had it. Good shot.
Good shot.
Weird out of nowhere. You got just a split second to decide to shoot.
Well, I tell you what, I've been fishing a long time, and I don't see that many garfish. You gotta know what you're looking for. Walking back in there, I think. He's walking back in that water. Now, Sylvan, Mr. Kurtz is walking back through that water, isn't he?
Yes, he saw 3 fish. Threw it 2. I got 1 little one.
Uh-huh. You got him, Mr. Kurtz? Pick him up. Let me look at him. Oh, yeah. That's a nice gar. Now, all you have left to do is shoot him with your bow, right? You're out of ammunition.
Very deep.
Boy, I'm telling you, huh? I mean, that was a good shot. That's what it's all about, huh, Mr. Kurtz?
All right, good shot.
Good shot, I'm telling you. Well, we're going.
Good shot.
That was an excellent shot. Good. Boy, that sure is pretty, Mr. Kurtz.
That's a bigger fish.
It really is.
We must have, I don't know what we got, but we got a lot more than what we had.
Is that right?
We had about a dozen, I guess.
Yes, sir.
We're about to have about 17 or 18 now.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, well, that was a big one. He was just sitting there on the bottom, and we eased over to him, and
Uh-huh.
he just sat there, and
You got him with the bow?
no, I got him with the spear.
Uh-huh.
I practically had to beat him to pieces to get him off. I was afraid I was going to lose him, and I couldn't hardly get rid of him.
Boy, that's a big one, isn't he?
Yeah, that is a nice fish.
You know, I tell you what. Yeah, they're good eating, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do y'all cook them?
I barbecue them.
Uh-huh.
Well, a lot of people make garfish balls.
Boy, look at that. Look at the teeth on that garfish, will you?
Yeah, that you would not want to
No. Not at
tangle
all.
with him. I've gotten cuts you wouldn't believe.
Yes, sir.
They don't hurt though. They're so sharp. You just
Uh-huh.
and you look down and there's blood and it doesn't hurt.
No. We really enjoyed it. I want you to know that. And I know our viewers are going to enjoy it because a lot of people never see anything like this.
Well, we don't have a lot of competition. Nobody else seems to be
No.
able to do it.
You're right.
We certainly have no one who's sorry when we catch a lot.
Right. Well, here comes Sylvan, so let's get out of the way. Mr. Curtis, I can't tell you how much fun I had on that fishing trip with you.
Oh, it was great fun, Byron. I'm glad we got a few fish. And
we
we're
did
gonna have
real
to do
well.
it. We're gonna have to do it again one time because now you're more familiar with the process.
Yes, sir.
And it would probably be much better.
I know you gave me a few pointers on and tips, and I'd like to share that with our viewers. You gave us a few tips on the shirt you wore.
Okay, it's a special shirt that was, I won't name the manufacturer, but it's, you know, turkey hunters and deer hunters have camouflage. Well, this shirt is called fish-flage. And a certain amount of scientific research showed what fish see when they look through the water. Because they don't see like we do. They see out the sides of their eyes, and they don't have very good vision. And this shirt is a special blue and white mixture, which according to the underwater photography done by the manufacturer, the fish just don't see it. And I tell you the truth, it really is effective because I've gotten a lot of fish in the last few weeks that I would never have gotten before.
You know, I was in my boat doing the show, and I was trying to see if I could see them, and I couldn't see them, of course, and you were standing up and you could still see 'em.
Okay, well, we have, both of us, Sylvan and I, have polarized glasses. Now, there's a lot of difference between polarized glasses and just sunglasses.
Yes, sir.
And polarized glasses, I don't know how you make them, but they're a good bit more expensive, and they somehow cut right through the glare in the water. I've tried with sunglasses, I've tried with regular glasses. You just don't see anything. It's unbelievable the difference these polarized glasses make. So we have standard equipment. I remember one day, I don't remember how, but we left and forgot them in the truck. And we had to come back about 4 miles because without them, you can forget about it.
Is that right?
Absolutely. No polarized glasses. You don't see anything.
And I tell you what, you were doing an excellent I'm talking about you were right on the money.
Well,
Does it take that much practice?
Yes, it does. The more you go, and of course, here's the key. We go to 2 o'clock buyer every week.
Right.
We know every inch of the buyer. We know the depth of the water in a given spot. Now, this is the whole key. Of course, my friend Sylvan is a science teacher.
Yes, sir.
And most people are aware of the fact that when you look at an object in the water, it's not where it looks like it is. The refraction is 25%. So if a fish is in 2 feet of water, you have to figure out that he's 6 inches from where he looks like he is. And if you shoot
Okay.
at the fish, you're going to obviously miss him because he's not where he seems.
Yes, sir.
So over the years, you develop a knack of just subconsciously computing, well, let's see, that fish is there, but he's really there, so I better... You just do
Right.
it.
Isn't that something?
If you notice, you don't have a lot of time to think.
Right.
If you think, you're going to miss.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you what, it was really something. Let's talk something briefly about 2 o'clock Bayou. 2 o'clock is located between Opelousas and Baton Rouge, about approximately 60 miles east of Baton Rouge, here in St. Leonard Parish.
Yes.
And 2 o'clock Bayou is one of our oldest streams that we have in this parish. And if you recall, about a few years back, there was a push on to close 2 o'clock Bayou to the public. And there was a number of people here in the parish that fought this, and it came up that it was a navigable stream. And it was declared navigable in 18 whatever, that you could navigate it up and down it. And right now, this is one of the cases that all the attorneys in Louisiana refer back to whenever a question over a stream navigability comes up. They refer back to 2 o'clock Bayou. Did you know that?
Well, I knew they had a lawsuit. I didn't really follow it that
Yes, sir.
closely, but it was a pretty sticky mess.
It lasted for 3 years.
yeah.
I stayed in court
It would have been a real tragedy
to close our stream.
to close this buy off from the public,
It's
because
true.
there's a tremendous number of people who fish there on any given weekend. It just boats all over the place.
Right.
A lot of kids. It's a great place for kids. It would have been a real tragedy to remove the
to
public.
this parish, and of course, and it would have set a precedence here in the state of Louisiana, closing down a number of other streams. So that's why we fought it so hard. And since then, a number of attorneys throughout the state have called, referring back to this case. So thank goodness it was one victory for the
Absolutely.
sportsman.
Absolutely.
Well, Mr. Curtis, I tell you what, I really enjoyed it, and I can't tell you how much fun I've had with it. It was just an exciting trip.
Well, it was a pleasure for us too, Byron. We look forward to hopefully doing another trip soon.
Yes, sir. And I hope all our viewers enjoyed it this week, and stay tuned next week, and I'll see you out on the Bayou Bank. And don't forget, don't litter, and make sure that you wear your life jacket. Thank you a lot, Mr. Curtis.
Okay,
And
Byron.
see you next week. Good shot, Sylvan. That was a good shot.
Thank you. Great shot.
He really was.
Very nice fish.
It is, isn't it?
Very nice fish, but he only got 4 out of 5 points in.
Oh, okay. You're slipping, huh, Phil? Now, Mr. Curtis, what kind of fishing license you? All right.
Oh, still got a jump left in him.
Boy, doesn't he though?
How fat that fish is, Byron.
Boy, I mean, he's healthy, isn't he?
He is healthy. Well, you got a couple of crawfish in him, at least.
Talk about, huh? That's pretty though, isn't it? Caught him on that spinnerbait, enjoy.
He
cooked at Stennington.
Didn't he though?
Barn.
That's what we after?
That's what they look like.
Well, I tell you what, I'm fixing to catch me a couple now. That is pretty though, it really is.
I think they got a little cloud cover, you know.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna start biting.
Welcome to another Acadiana Outdoor Show today. I have with me today Warren Basco, as known as Biscuit. Biscuit, I appreciate you coming by today.
Thank you, Barn. Thank you very much.
And Biscuit also has a show of Acadiana Sportsman Show on KOGM on radio every Thursday at 7 o'clock, correct, Biscuit?
Yeah, it's about my 3rd year into that, Barn. I've been doing that, and it's been pretty successful.
Oh, it really has. I know a lot of people listen to it every Thursday at 7, and we all enjoy your show. I want you to know that.
Well, I enjoy your show.
Oh, well, thank you, Biscuit. Biscuit, the reason, I wanted you to come on the show, I know you're instrumental in this upcoming fishing rodeo.
Yeah, we got this our 3rd annual Acadiana Sportsman Show, Take the Kid Fishing Rodeo, and actually all the proceeds from this will go to places like well, let me run this to you. It's co-sponsored by the Port Barre Lions Club,
Okay.
is which my charity, which we give the monies to, which we give, and that money goes from there. It goes to places like the Crippled Children's Camp in Leesville, Louisiana, and if you've never been there, folks, I tell you what, it's a heartbreaking experience to see those kids having fun. And then we also give some money like the Lion's Eye Foundation, stuff like that. But majority of the money will go to the Crippled Children's Camp. And it's a whole lot of fun the whole weekend for the kids.
I know you've worked real hard at it, Biscuit, and I know this year is going to be a great success. I know you have a bunch of fishermen here with us.
Yeah, I've got some of last year's fishermen and women that we have with us, and they had a great time last year. They really enjoyed it. You know, one of the things that I want to press, Barn, that if you do not have to have a kid to participate in this. It is a Take a Kid fishing rodeo, but if you don't have a kid, you don't have a boat, you want to go fishing, an adult can participate in this by themselves or with their spouse, or they can go with the kids on the bank of a bayou or something like that on any public waters. No private ponds or lakes, folks, but any public waters you can fish this thing.
Give us a date of it, Biscuit.
Yeah, well, it starts on the Saturday with the pirogue races. The pirogue races start about 3 p.m. on Saturday in Port Barre at the boat landing in Port Barre. There'll be food and refreshments there. The Saturday night we have a dance in the Legion Hall by Country Dreamers for the adults if they want to come out and enjoy a good band. We have a good band, no cover charge. And the Sunday, starting at 12:01 a.m. Sunday morning. I mean, that's midnight. You can start fishing, and you fish from then until the deadline is 3 o'clock. The weigh-in is between 2 and 3 at the boat landing in Port Barre.
Okay, now it's on June 27th and
27th and 28th, right, is the date of it.
And of course, they can call here at the station, and I know you're putting up posters all over town about it.
Yeah, they can call there. There's different places to sign up. I'll run down just a few of them for right now. I have Prudence Bait Stand in Port Barre, Bayou Sportsman in Port Barre, Bork's Grocery in Port Barre, Crestwell Shell in Opelousas has them. I mean, it's going to be different places all over. Just listen to KSLO radio during the daytime, and they'll be broadcasting during the daytime of where we have these as we get these places as sign-up points.
Well, that's good, Biscuit. Let's go ahead and introduce our fishermen that we have. I know all these, y'all going to be fishing?
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Biscuit. I'll let you introduce them all.
I'll tell you what, right here we got, right in back of us, we got Miss Erin Bork, and she's from Port Barre, and she enjoyed it last year. As a matter of fact, you won first place with the odd fish division. Am I correct?
Did? What'd you catch? Catfish.
Big
How
old
big was
It
it?
was 3 pounds.
3-pound catfish. Isn't that great?
And this is Brooks Bellows. Brooks Bellows from here in Opelousas, and there's Jonathan Bellow here, and he's from Opelousas, and they're all 3 brothers, and that's Elliot Bellow. And I know these guys had a great time last year.
Hey, what you caught last year, buddy? A brim?
Yes.
Did you win anything?
Yes, a trophy.
You won a trophy? Well, good. Did you win any other prizes?
Some bait.
Oh, well, good. And you're looking forward to it this weekend, coming up.
There.
Well, good. And what did you catch?
Some brim.
You got some brim and sac-a-lane? Well, good.
You win any trophies, man?
No, didn't win nothing. But you won, though. Okay. How about you?
Some brim.
You win anything?
No.
You didn't go home with any baits, any tackle, anything?
Some bait and some tackle.
And you got a cap?
And a cap.
And a cap.
All right.
See?
Well, good.
See, that's one of the things, Barnes, we try to stress. We try to make sure that everybody wins something, from the adults to the children. There's an entry fee of $5 for the fishing rodeo, but you almost like get your $5 back in merchandise, because I do like a draw one type deal,
and their names are in a hat in a box, and I'll pull their names out until I get to the last one, and the last one gets to win too. So everybody wins
good.
something. We give away tackle boxes, rod and reels. This year we're going to also add a cash prize to the first prize, first, second, and third prize winners in the categories, and adult and children. We got cash prizes in which different places like y'all, Operations
Right.
General gave
You're
something, donated
right.
some money towards
Regional ambulance.
Regional
service.
Ambulance Service donated some money.
Right.
All kind of different, I can't name them all, folks, but all kind of different people are donating monies and other things, food merchandise and stuff like that, and prizes to us. So we're really grateful for that, and grateful for what everybody does for us.
Good. Well, Biscuit, I'll tell you what, we're going to be out there. We're going to make a show with the kids bringing in their fish and all that type of stuff. So we want to make sure that a number of our viewers go and try and participate.
I tell you what, it's a good thing.
It really is.
A lot of fun, a lot of fun.
Excuse me. Biscuit, I tell you what, let's go on. I made a fishing trip down to Bayou Benoit. I went down there with Joey Kovac, made an excellent bass fishing trip down there. You've been down to Bayou Benoit.
Oh, yeah.
But, of course, the boats down there, it's unbelievable the amount of boat traffic they have down there now.
On the weekends is terrible.
Oh, it is.
It is
really
terrible on
is.
the weekends.
I mean, I'm talking about 150 boats down there.
I had a friend of mine went last weekend, and I talked to him yesterday, and he told me he literally counted 300 boats.
Isn't that something?
300 boats
Yeah.
last weekend. That's
Oh.
ridiculous.
It really is, of course. So let's go on down to Bayou Benoit and show our viewers a little bass fishing trip we had. Then we're going to come back and show some pictures that were sent in from Prudhomme Bait Stand.
Well, that's what we need to do. We
I
need to
know.
go down there, but we need to go during the week, Barn.
You're right. Okay, well, let's go on down to Bayou Benoit.
Two expert cyclade fishermen.
I'm telling you. He was down in Bob Benoit. We're fixing to make another trip here. Who's the two gentlemen right there?
That's Mr. Shane Abear in the front, Mr. Linwood in the back.
Uh-huh. Linwood Abear. Shane, y'all catch any? Come on, huh, Linwood? About 10? Golly. I thought that was a woman in the boat there for a minute. Huh?
We just getting here. Just starting. Don't you?
You don't have too many boats, Linwood?
Same.
We're going in the back and we're going bass fishing.
Right there. Both of them logs.
Hey, we hit one spot. Put all our fish.
Really?
Oh.
Y'all caught 10?
We got one
Shane, come troll over here. Let me see what y'all got.
How many y'all? Not a one. How many fish y'all got? Be careful.
Tell them to come to the front.
Well, that's not too good. Y'all better come back to the front.
Yeah, let's see what you got there.
We got a few, Barn.
I'm telling you. Oh, they pretty, aren't they?
Look at those brim.
Look at the size of those browns. Let's
It's
see.
fat, huh?
That is pretty, though.
You didn't go in the back. Why don't you go try in the canal?
We
No.
tried right up here.
We fixing to go on in and try and catch some bass in the back.
Gotta go one.
You think so?
Y'all plow us a trail. Hey, you catching some fish, buddy? She caught one.
Are y'all catching any?
This is Eric Abear and his wife Tina, and John Grant, the little boy, and Mr. Alan Stelly. How many fish you caught, John Grant?
Hello, Acadiana.
How you doing, buddy? All right. All
You
right.
caught
how
some
y'all
fish?
doing?
One and Pop caught them like this.
Oh, let's see how big. Oh,
Whoa, man.
really?
How many you caught any yet? 2?
No, Mama.
We're just getting here. We're fixing to go bass fishing.
Shane.
Y'all catching any?
Few seconds.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
They're not biting too good?
Just start.
Just starting to bite.
Looks like it.
We're going to try to catch a few bass. Yeah, we'll go to the back and work some of these stumps and treetops and bushes. Try to catch them on a spinnerbait, or maybe on a crankbait.
Boy, it's really beautiful back here, isn't it?
A lot of good cover down here, I'll tell you. A lot of good places for bass to hang out. The weather give us a break, we get to fish a little while. I think we'll do all right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do good this afternoon.
I think so.
Well, Joey, I see you got that spinnerbait tied on.
Yeah, we're gonna see. That's my favorite way to catch them. That's usually what I start out throwing. Bob.
Right.
I love to catch them on a spinnerbait. And if that doesn't work, maybe on some of these logs and stuff, we might try a crankbait.
Yeah.
You know, something like these logs that are laying in the water. Try something to go down a little bit deeper.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get them to hit a spinnerbait.
Joey, I know you've fished bass for a number of years. I know you're around 30 years old and you're an expert on bass fishing.
Well, I don't know about that, Byron.
Well, I classify you as one. And I know I fished with your daddy a number of years. Your daddy and Harvey Owen and of course your
Alden VJ.
And of course I know your daddy had a lot to do with you learning how to bass fish.
Well, my dad, you know, I guess I was lucky. My dad started me out young. I mean, ever since I was old enough to go on the boat, my dad took me fishing. And I can remember the days he would take me out and hook the fish on his rod and reel, give me the rod, let me reel it in. You know, that's how I got hooked.
Right.
And he taught me everything I know, and
you and Skip just carried on from
me
there.
and Skip just carried on from there. You know, we really like it, and
It's a good sport, and everybody should bring their kids out fishing.
everybody should bring their kids
See,
fishing.
that's really how I got started too. My daddy would take me out brim fishing years ago, and he took the time with me, you know,
Yeah.
just like your daddy did.
Oh yeah, you know, my dad and Alden VJ fished together for years before I was born, and then when I was too young to go. And Alden always told me, he said, you know, when I got old enough to go, he hated to lose my daddy as a fishing partner.
Right.
My dad quit fishing with Alden, so he would.
Oh, I know that. I used to see y'all on the bob banks all the time,
Oh yeah,
and y'all would be out fishing. You and Skip both in the same boat, you know.
that's right. That's what got me started, and you know, just carried it on from there,
Right.
and really enjoyed it. There's nothing I'd rather do than, you know, other than fish.
Yeah.
It's my favorite sport, no doubt.
Isn't that something? You know, we were fishing down in the basin today, down in the Bayou Benoit area, and I used to come down here years ago with Harvey Owen.
Right.
And you know, Harvey had, I think, the second bass boat ever in St. Leonard Parish.
Right.
And Mr. Harvey really taught me a lot, I can tell you.
Harvey, well, you talk about a good bass fisherman.
Oh,
Harvey
yeah.
Owens was an excellent bass fisherman, and him and Daddy fished together for years.
Oh, I know that. I used to see the stringers that they'd come in, like they'd come down here down the river, and they'd
Oh,
go
yeah,
to Henderson.
They would just catch bass. Of course, back then you didn't have near the bass fishermen you have today, but it's a little bit harder to catch them, you know, nowadays. But we still catch a few. But old Harvey, I really miss Mr. Harvey. I can tell you a lot of stories about.
Oh, I can too. I tell you what, we had a great time fishing together.
him
And Miss Esseley.
Miss Esseley,
Right.
and Harvey and Daddy and Alden VJ probably caught, you know, not to brag, but they probably caught as many bass
As anybody in this part of the
as
country.
anybody in this part of the country.
Oh, I know that, because I used to come in and go fishing with them, and I know.
Yeah, they, of course, they had, those were the glory days. Like I say, wasn't a whole lot of people fishing bass back then. Most people didn't have a rod and reel.
No.
And they had them, and they would go fishing, and man, they caught some bass.
You know, I remember years ago, I talked my daddy into buying me a troll motor, and I'd go to Henderson, and everybody didn't even know what that was sitting on the front of the boat.
Right, right. Well, my dad, he probably had the strongest right forearm of anybody in St. Leonard Parish, because he paddled that aluminum boat so many miles, you know.
He did.
And until the trolling motor came out,
He
that was how they got around, you know.
yeah,
They used
well,
to go down the river with a 12-foot aluminum boat and an 18-horsepower Evinrude, and that's it. And go right down the river and getting all these small pits off the river, and man, they would catch the bass.
they really would. And of course, in those days, very few people fished down here.
He told me many a time that they would go fishing bass, and they wouldn't see another boat fishing bass.
Isn't that something?
And nowadays, if you go and don't see 20 or 30, you're lucky.
Well, yeah, that's like this afternoon. You saw how many were at the boat landing up there.
Probably had 150 boats there, you know.
Right.
But, you know, that's how I got started by. I was lucky enough to have a dad that took me fishing, and
To try and take the kids out fishing. If
take
they,
the kids fishing.
and if fishing and hunting, they don't have to look for them later.
That's right. Keep them off the street.
Okay, well, I'm going to start fishing now, Joey.
Okay, bye.
You got one, Joey?
Got one.
Golly.
Pretty good little bass.
I'm telling you, huh? All right.
Oh, he still got a jump left in him.
Boy, doesn't he though?
How fat that fish is, Brian.
Boy, I mean, he's healthy, isn't he?
He is healthy. Well, you got a couple of crawfish in him, at least.
Talk about, huh? That's pretty though, isn't it? Caught him on that spinnerbait, enjoy.
Yeah, he crushed that spinnerbait.
Didn't he though?
Byron,
That's what we after?
that's what they look like.
Well, I tell you what, I'm fixing to catch me a couple now. That is pretty though, it really is.
I think they got a little cloud cover, you know. Little,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna start biting.
That's the first one of the day.
First one of the day, first of many, I hope.
I hope so.
Now, Byron,
Uh-huh.
I want to show you something.
All right.
I'm a big advocate of,
All right.
and I don't know if you are or not. I haven't fished with you in it's been a while since.
Right.
But since then, I'm a big fan of catch and release.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, we
you
do
know,
the same thing, you know?
I just, it's something. You see all the bass fishermen we got out here today.
Right.
Most of them keep everything they catch, and I just believe that if we're gonna have good bass fishing in the years to come, we need to throw some back.
It's true.
Now, if you want to keep a few to fillet, I understand, but I personally throw all my fish back.
Is that right? Well, let's let that one go then, Joey.
So this one go, let this one go, and if
Unless you think we ought to keep the first one and then we'll let the next one go. Whatever you think.
I prefer to let them go.
Okay.
If you want to keep some, we will, but I think we should let them go.
All right.
And I really wanted to make that point on your show. I hope you
Yeah.
don't mind. But
Oh, no. We Oh, yeah, there he goes.
catch him when he's 4 pounds, Byron.
Well, I'm telling you,
You
huh?
bring your boy back in a couple of years, catch him when he's 4.5, 5 pounds.
You're right.
Okay.
Joey, we're going to move on down to a different spot?
Yeah, we're gonna try a little further down here, Byron. You know, they got stretches in here. Sometimes it's better in some stretches than it is in others.
Uh-huh.
So we'll move down a little bit and see if we can't find some in another stretch. Kind of getting shady, you know, and
Boy, it's pretty out here, isn't it?
it's very pretty. Pretty time of the day. We're fortunate we're not getting all that rain right now.
Talk about, huh?
Let's try right up in here.
All right.
See if we can't stir up a couple. Ought to be a good time of the afternoon to fish, getting late, a little late on in the day, you know.
I'm telling you.
Maybe they'll start biting a little bit, get them going. Good one, Byron.
You got him?
That's a pretty good one. Well, he is strong, too.
Isn't he, though?
He is just strong. Yeah, I can't hardly get him out there quick. Isn't that pretty?
Boy, I'm telling you. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, yeah, Joey, huh?
Nice fish, huh?
I'm telling you what, that's a beautiful bass.
Boy, he gave a good fight.
He did, huh?
Holy mackerel. I thought he was bigger than that, Byron.
Really?
The way he fought,
Yeah.
you know? When
That's
he
beautiful.
When he hit that bait, I thought I had about a 5 pounder.
Well, I tell you what, on anybody else's show,
He was 5 pounds.
that's a 5-pounder. But on our show, it's about a 2.5, 3-pounder.
He'd go a good 3, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, that's a 3-pounder.
He fought like a 5 pounder.
He did, huh? That's beautiful.
Big.
Huh? He hit him on that spinnerbait, huh?
Yeah, sure did. I'm gonna let him go.
You gonna let him go?
Yeah.
All right.
He gave me such a good thrill. He deserves to.
There he goes. Boy, that was a beautiful fish, Joey.
I'll tell you what, that's what makes you come.
It is, huh?
That's what makes you go fishing. That's what it's all about. Like
It's
you said.
true.
He hit it right on the side of that log.
Boy, ain't it pretty out here?
Beautiful. Getting late in the day like this,
Yeah.
you know,
Catching fish.
catching fish. Boy, he wanted that spinnerbait though. I guess I ought to throw back there.
Yeah. You got him, Joey?
He's in the trolling motor.
Really?
Yeah. Not very good action shot.
No. He's in the trolling motor.
I swear these fish are so strong, Byron, that it's hard to do anything with them. And that's not, you know,
That's a nice fish there, too, Joey.
he's a fair-sized bass, but
Talk about.
you know, he just got all up in the trolling motor. There's not a whole lot I could do about it. Got a little battle scar right there on his gill plate.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Good fighting size bass, I'll tell you.
And he just wrapped you all around the trolling
I'm
motor.
still wrapped up in there. He just,
There he goes. He's going back home, you think, huh?
yeah, I think so. He's probably going back on that same stump right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just tied me all up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
It was a nice fish, though.
But I tell you, the way they pull, you think you really, they really think you got a big bass.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
It's true. Now, what color spinnerbait you using there, Joey?
That's a chartreuse and white with a gold.
That's a willow leaf, huh?
I got a willow leaf on there and a Colorado.
Uh-huh. Let me see it. Oh, yeah, okay.
Gold spinners.
Yeah.
And it really is a good bait. That willow leaf down here in the basin, for some reason, really pays off.
It does, doesn't it?
And a chartreuse and white skirt, more
Yeah.
often than not, if you got that on, you pretty much, if they bite, that's a good color to be thrown.
Right.
That ought to catch them.
Well, for our viewers that just tuned in, we're out in the Chafalaya Basin down at Bob Benoit right now, making a bass fishing trip. And it's been pretty good so far. I tell you what, Joey, you've done real well.
Well, it's a good start.
Yeah.
Looks like they're starting to bite a little bit. That's 2 we've caught in about 4 or 5 minutes
I'm
here.
telling you.
So it looks like they're starting to turn on a little bit. And tell you something about the basin. When they turn on,
Oh, yeah, you can get ready.
you can get ready. It doesn't take long to catch a mess.
It doesn't.
No. So
And, of course, today we're doing a catch and release program.
I released most of my bass, Byron.
So you a lot of times you release all a number of your fish, don't you, Joey?
I'd say 95% of the bass I catch I release.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we were talking about it earlier. Everybody likes to eat fish.
Right.
So, I don't try to make people throw back all the fish they catch.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to eat a few bass, but if you fish a lot and if you catch a lot of fish, then you need to throw some back.
Right.
And you got a limit of 8 right now, and if you catch 8 nice fish like what I just caught and bring that home and
Yeah, you got enough fish to
you got
eat.
enough fish. You
That's
really
true.
do. There's no sense in coming out here and catching 40 bass and
Right.
breaking the limit and bringing those home and doing something like that.
It's true. I always tell our viewers, go out, catch what you want to eat,
Throw the rest back.
stay within the limit, and let the rest go back. So that maybe, one of those little kids can go out and catch a few fish. Right.
When the bass are biting down here, it's not that hard to catch them. And,
No, you can come down here and catch 50, 60 bass,
we
and
do it, it happens a lot.
oh yeah, I mean we've done it many, many a
That's
times,
right. If you get 10 boats down here that know what they're doing and catch 40, 50 bass a piece,
Yeah, that's 500, 600 bass.
600 bass a day.
That's right.
And of course, as far as the basin gets restocked every year, so it's probably, if you want to keep a few fish, it's probably not a bad place to do it.
Right.
But
Rather than an impoundment
Rather
such as
than your
Chico or something like that.
on Chico, if you get in an impoundment where there's only so many fish in there,
Yeah.
you get a lot of fishermen in there. When the fish are biting, start taking fish out, you can really hurt the lake,
Yeah.
hurt the population. So,
Catch what you can eat and let the rest go back.
I like to throw all mine back, but not every. Some people like to eat bass, so they should keep something to eat.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. Pretty nice fish.
Yeah, he's a nice one.
You can get a jump out of him there.
Yeah, I tell you what, I just about got him wore out here.
He's about had it, hadn't
I'm
he?
telling you. Let's see if I can't bring him on in.
Bring him in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right, Byron.
Yeah, I tell you what, kids on the scoreboard again, huh?
That's it. Your first basin bass of the year right there, isn't
You
it?
talk about it. It's been a long time. I used to come down here a long time
I
ago,
know.
like
Well,
I
this-
said, with your daddy and Harvey and all that gang, and we caught a lot of bass down here, and of course, I appreciate you calling me and inviting me to come down with you, Joy, today.
Well, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you caught that bass,
Tell you
too.
what, it brings back old memories.
It sure
you know what
does.
I mean?
Well, me and you made a few good trips down here before, too.
I mean, real good,
Real good trips. And, some, maybe not as fast action today, but that's a heck of a nice fish. We managing to catch a mess anyhow.
We are. We really are. We have a good time, and it's getting late in the afternoon, and I hope we can show our viewers a number of other fish. Right. You got one, Joey?
Oh, I got something. Not sure what it is, Byron.
What is it?
That looks like a goggle eye.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Look at the belly on that thing, will you? Think he's got a couple of crawfish in there?
Golly, I'm telling you, huh? That's a
He hit
nice
like
goggle eye.
He hit it like a bass. He hit it so hard.
Yeah.
It's been a good day. Of course, we're going to try to catch another one before we quit.
Oh yeah, we're gonna catch one or two more, and then we're gonna shut it down and go on in because we got a good ride to. Joey, tell the viewers on if they want to come to Bob Benoit, tell them exactly how you get here. I know you come through Lafayette, you come through St. Martinsville.
Go through Lafayette and take the Cade St. Martinville exit.
Uh-huh.
Come through St. Martinville and go to Coteau Homes. I'm not sure what highway number it is.
Right.
Go to Coteau Homes, and from Coteau Homes, you just follow the levee.
And then,
It's the first landing.
okay.
You can go
And then,
you can go further down the levee and go to Sandy Cove.
right. And once you put in there, I mean, they have miles and miles of area down here to fish.
There's just unlimited
Unlimited.
places. Of course, as the river falls, there's different places that get right.
Right.
Different river stages. And but basically, once the river gets to 10 feet and starts going down,
Uh-huh.
you're able to come down here and catch fish.
Right.
So 10 feet is pretty much the magic number as far
Yeah.
as the river stage of Butte Rose goes. So if you watch that, which is what I watch, the river stage of Butte Rose, and
When it gets around 10 feet, it's time to come down
it's
and
10 feet and falling,
do some scouting.
time to come look around. And it may take you a couple trips to find them, but once you find them,
Yeah.
you can catch them until the water gets too low. Then there's other places that are just getting right.
Right. Well, you know, we made a Sacklay trip a few days ago, and it came out real well. And so now we're gonna give our viewers a bass fishing trip.
That's right. The Sacklay boy. And normally what happens is the Sacklay bite when the water's a little bit higher,
Uh-huh.
and once the Sacklay run ends, the bass fishing starts.
Yeah.
So, you know, you kind of watch that river stage, and when the water really, you can catch Sacklay when the water's out of the banks of these lakes. Sacklay fishing is good, but when the water gets down within the banks,
Mm-hmm.
that's when your bass fishing really gets good.
Yeah. Well, good. Let's try and catch us one more there for the viewers, and we're gonna head on in.
Let's do it.
What you got, Joey?
Well, believe it or not, it's another goggle eye.
Boy, they must have goggle eye in this canal, huh?
I tell you something about a goggle eye. He thinks he weighs 10 pounds, Byron.
Boy, they hit it, don't
He'll
they?
hit a spinnerbait
Uh-huh.
as big as he is. I mean, look, you know,
Golly.
they'll
Yeah.
hit anything. Look at the, can you see the red on his
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Get a pretty coloration on his fish.
I'm telling you, huh?
Yeah,
That's a beautiful fish.
he sure is.
We're gonna save that for my daddy too.
Good, we'll put him in the icebox.
All right.
See if we can't get a bass.
Yeah, we're gonna catch one in a minute.
Okay.
Well, you hear those birds singing, Joey?
I sure do. Redbird.
It's beautiful back here.
Yep. Sure is. Especially late this time of the afternoon, you know.
Uh-huh.
This is my favorite time of the day to fish. My favorite time of the day to fish. Let's see if I can't catch one off that log right there.
How about it, Byron?
Yeah.
Pretty good fish?
No, I think it's a small one, Joey.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Well, he's not that bad.
No,
He's a pound and a half or so.
probably so.
Give you a pretty good battle?
Yeah, I tell you what, he hit me next to that log back there.
Yeah.
Really good. You know, Joey is fixing to pour down rain. We better put that camera up
Okay.
and we're gonna try and make some shots
On the
going
way
on
out?
back in, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and try and show our viewers some of the scenery out here,
Okay.
and hopefully that they enjoyed our show today.
Well, I sure enjoyed it.
Well,
And
I really did too, Joey. So yeah,
caught a few fish, and
we
We'll
had a
do-
good time.
we'll do it again one day.
Sounds good.
All right, Byron.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Well, it's pretty back here, huh?
And well, Joey, you think we've got to head on in? It's starting to rain.
I think so, Byron. It's of course it's rained most of the day, you know,
Yeah.
and kind of cramped our filming just a little bit, but
We had to put the camera in 4 or 5 times in the bag.
that's right. So we don't want the camera to get wet, and but of course that rain's good weather to fish in too. So I guess you got to take the good with the bad.
Right.
But all in all, it's been a good day, and we head on down the canal and go to the house.
Sounds good.
All righty.
Okay, Biscuit, we have these pictures that were sent this week. This is a picture of Brett Briggs. That's my son Brett, and of course Sheriff's in the picture. Brett has a nice, I believe he caught 10 frogs that night. Nice bunch of little frogs.
I tell you what, bullfrogs are getting harder to find too, Byron.
That's right, you can't find them anymore, so it
That's a nice catch.
really is. And our next picture here is a picture of Felix Dejean and Flip Dejean. And Fleek is showing a limit of woodcock he killed this past winter. And of course, I went with him on that trip. We had an excellent trip. We killed 10 woodcock in a couple of hours, and we just had a good time.
That is a good hunt.
It really is. And this is a picture that's on the same hunt. That's a picture of a limit of woodcock with me and Sheriff. So Sheriff made the picture. Sheriff's always in the picture. Biscuit.
Sheriff always getting the picture.
Oh yeah, he's a celebrity.
I'll tell you what, y'all look like y'all had a good time that day.
We really did. And of course, the picture of the week this week, the winner of the week, and of course I can't win and Brett can't win, so Felix is the only one left.
So we got to let Mr. Felix have it.
Mr. Felix and Flip are the winner this week. And of course, this week he's going to win a shirt from Chuck's Sports. Chuck was kind enough to make some real nice shirts, and he's going to win a fish stringer from J.B. Sandals. And also, he also is a winner of some earrings, some crawfish earrings made at Hole in the Wall in Eunice. And I'm going to show the viewers that in just a few minutes. Well, so we're going to congratulate Felix this week.
Congratulations, Mr. Felix.
Well, Biscuit, I wanted to show you these earrings that Colleen Landry makes at a Hole in the Wall in Eunice. And it's a crawfish claws. Isn't that neat?
That's actually a pair of crawfish claws.
Yeah.
That is very neat.
Oh, yeah. So Felix won that this week. And, of course, anybody wants to get something like this, they can stop by Hole in the Wall on the other side of Eunice and pick some up from Colleen over there. Biscuit, I want to introduce somebody else on our show today.
Who's that?
You see what we have right here? I went to pick this up at Colleen. I said, Colleen, I want something a little different to show on my show. You know, we've been having the bass and the brim and all that. And she said, well, listen, I have this board you can take and show our viewers. You know, she mounts so many different things. So I was walking out with it, and they had an old boy walking in. And he said, that sure is a pretty boy. And I said, yeah, it sure is. He said, it kind of reminds me of my mother-in-law, my first 5 mother-in-laws.
First 5?
First 5. I said, boy, I tell you what, he's been in trouble.
What?
But he says his mother-in-law's a lot prettier than the one he has now, so. But anyway, so I don't know what we're going to name that boy.
I have to call her mother-in-law.
Maybe so. Okay.
Not my mother-in-law.
No. You better get that straight, Biscuit. I'm going to tell you, you're going to be in trouble. Well, Biscuit, listen, let's remind our viewers one more time about the rodeo coming up, and we hope our viewers go. Tell us again when it's going to be.
Okay, it's the 27th is the P-Road races right there at the boat landing in Port Barry. Entry fee $2. You sign up when you get there. Adults and children will participate. Also have the dance at night in the American Legion Hall, no cover charge, nice dance, nice get-together for the adults. And the Sunday is the fishing rodeo. The weigh-in will be between 2 and 3 over at the boat landing in Port Barry. And I want to remind everybody, Mr. Jim Davison of the Bass Pro Shop in Wayne Marine is going to be our official weigh-in man, and he does that every year for me. So
well, that's great.
It's going to be a great time for everybody.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be out there. I want you to know. I'm going to be out there taking pictures to it. And, of course, also we want to remind our viewers to also listen to Biscuit on Acadiana Sports Shop, KOGM, at 7 o'clock on Thursdays.
7 o'clock on Thursdays.
And we appreciate y'all being with us this week, and I hope you enjoyed our show, and we'll see you out on the Bob Bank next weekend.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you for coming by, Biscuit.
Thank you.
You got him?
That's pretty good, man. Well, he is strong, too.
Isn't he, though?
He's strong. Why can't we get him out there? Isn't that pretty?
Boy, I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, yeah, Joey, huh?
Nice fish, huh?
I'm telling you what, that's a beautiful bass.
Oh, he gave a good fight.
He did, huh?
Holy mackerel. I thought he was bigger than that, Bob.
Really?
The way he fought.
Yeah.
When
That's beautiful.
When he hit that bait, I thought I had about a 5 pound.
Well, I tell you what, on anybody else's show,
He's 5 pounds.
that's a 5-pounder. But on our show, it's about a 2.5, 3-pounder.
You go a good 3, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, that's a 3-pounder.
He fought like a 5.
He did, huh? That's beautiful.
Okay.
Huh? He hit him on that spinnerbait, huh?
Yeah, sure did. I'm gonna let him go.
You gonna let him go?
Yeah.
All right.
He gave me such a good thrill. He deserves to.
There he goes.
Appaloosa's a fantastic plane for 1939. It was a super ride. a little cross winds, but it was nice. Thank you again for the opportunity to be able to go up in your plane, Harold. Appreciate it.
You're quite welcome.
Welcome to another Katie Ann Outdoor Show. I hope y'all enjoyed last week's show, and today we have two special guests. Of course, Mr. Rodney Mayu. Rodney, thank you for coming by. You're not a special guest. You're just a good guy, Rodney.
Don't feel special.
That's right. And of course, Ricky Januso. Ricky, thank you for coming by. Today's show is going to be a little bit different than what we usually do. We usually have hunting or fishing or whatever. And today we wanted to bring to you a show on the St. Leonard Parish Airport. There's been a number of improvements done out there, and of course Rodney is also on the St. Leonard Parish Airport Authority, and we want to speak briefly on that, and then we're going to go into this spectacular show that's going to be coming up on July the 4th. Rodney, give the viewers insight on the on what the Airport Authority really does out here.
Yeah, the Airport Authority is a subdivision of the police jury. They're separate in a way and then together in a way. I think the ruling authority, and correct me on this, you on the police jury, the police jury has the final say basically on overall policy for the airport. But I got in there like in January of '92, was appointed by the jury, and worked with Ricky and all the members of the board, as well as many of the people that I've known for years around here. So anyway, we're basically a guiding, we're a board. We guide decision making. We just did some negotiations on some buildings that we're looking at to put up for future use. It may or may not be something that's
Looks like we're going to start having a lot of improvements.
But I
out
tell
there.
you what, from the time I remember the airport 10 or 12 years ago until today, I invite people to come out today and see this. We just newly air conditioned the building. And working good, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Rick, and,
Like a champ.
It really is. You know,
it's enjoyable.
Oh,
to
it
go there.
is. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable the difference since Ricky has taken over. Ricky, you own Eagle Air Service, and I know you're our new FBO operator out there, and you entered into a contract with the Airport Authority Board to run this. Ricky, I know you've done a number of improvements out there, and so why don't you just tell our viewers what you've done out there. I don't want to take the show from you, but...
Well, the main thing that we've done since we opened up the place, the first thing we wanted to do was more or less give the place a complete facelift, more or less. Clean the place up, cut the grass, just make it enjoyable for the family people to come out and enjoy their airport, because this is all the parish's airport. This is y'all facility, not mine. I just have the privilege of operating it for y'all.
Right.
But more or less, that's all we've done. We just cleaned it up and just welcome people with a smile.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I tell you what, it's really made a turnaround, huh, Rodney?
You mentioned FBO. It kind of threw me the first time. What does that mean?
That's fixed base operator.
Fixed base operator. So a lot of people, we were on a show a couple of weeks ago, Byron, and somebody said, we said some name, initials, and they came up to me after the show and said,
well, what is that?
What is that? And I said, you know, I forgot to tell them what it was because not everybody knows what the initials mean. So FBO.
Yeah, and that's
fixed base operator. Okay.
Ricky, you're putting on a big-ass show. Of course, you along with the Airport Authority are putting on a big-ass show coming up on July the 4th. And, you know, we went out and shot some footage out at the airport a couple of weeks ago just to show our viewers on what they can expect out there. Tell us briefly about your big-ass show coming up. I mean, I know it's going to be a big deal.
We're going to have planes coming in from all over the country. We got a B-25, a PV-2 Harpoon, a TBM, T-28s, Sky Raiders. We can go on and on. We're going to have some military jets there, F-16s, military helicopters, just a big variety of different type of airplanes that's going to come and do performances out at the airport. I think the main attraction, what's going to be, we're going to have a lot of these World War II and Korean airplanes that's going to be doing static display, and what that means, they're going to be doing actual bomb runs on our airport.
Isn't that going to
Now,
be
they're not going to be blowing up the airport, but they're going to be,
Right.
it's a simulated run with actual explosions and everything like that. So it should be a real good, entertaining show for the whole family.
And a number of these planes are probably with the Confederate Air Force?
This is a-
similar to it.
It's similar to the Confederate Air Force. It's a
Right.
branch off of the Confederate Air Force. They've gotten so big in the past,
Yeah.
they kind of branched off to different type of museums. But it's basically just like the Confederate Air Force shows.
Right. Now, I see it's going to be on July 4th and July 5th. That's a Saturday and Sunday. And the adults are $4 in advance, and at the gate $5, and children $1.50 and $2.50.
Exactly.
And you asked not to bring their own ice chest because you're going to be able to go out there and buy barbecue, or you're going to be able to go buy cold drinks, or whatever.
Popcorn,
Right.
nachos, whatever you'd want.
Well, good. Ricky, I see the show's going to, the time that the show's going to start is 10 o'clock. That's when the gate's going to open up. The actual show starts at 12.
The show, July 4th, which is a Saturday, starts at 11 and goes to 5. On Sunday, the show starts at 12 and goes to 4. But the gates open at 10 o'clock both days for the public to come in, view the aircraft. you know,
Or they
get
can
up
walk
close.
around the plane?
They can get up close.
That's nice, huh?
Some of the aircraft
I'll be
people,
there.
like I know, for instance, the PV-2 Harpoon, if you want to view inside the airplane, there might be like a 50 cent or $1 admission to go inside the airplane. But as far as to view the outside, go up to it, let the kids touch it, take pictures, it's open for the public to do that.
Now, what would be the advantage? I see on the brochure, I guess you can show it.
Yeah, I'll just do it.
$4 in advance, $5 at the gate. Now, I mean, some people say, well, I'm going to pay $5. I can watch them from the street. That's not really true, is it, Rick?
No, sir, the show's going to be so far away from the main highway, nobody will be able to view it.
Right.
Okay.
And we're making the ticket prices low enough and attractive enough to where everybody with their family can get in there and go and view a nice air show. It's not like some of the other shows where the ticket prices are kind of high.
Yeah.
But we're trying to make it attractive
it's
for the
really
whole
reasonable.
family and
Oh, yeah,
everybody to
it's
come out
gonna-
and look and view
yeah.
a good air show.
Well, good. Well, listen, let's go on out to the airport. We're going to show a little footage that we did out there a couple of weeks ago. And then we're going to come on back and touch base on a few of the highlights of this footage. So let's go on out to the St. Andrew Parish Airport. And here I am in the terminal building, and you can see it's a real nice facility here. And it looks like it's starting to really be revived out here. And, of course, Ricky Januso is the new FBO operator out here. And we're going to go around and talk to some of the pilots, and we're also going to get into some of the planes. And they're going to show us exactly how these planes operate. And it's a sport that's coming up. It's a great sport. It's a family sport. And, of course, a lot of our local people do fly. So hope you enjoy our show today. Okay, I'm out here with Richard Mitchell. Okay, Richard, what kind of plane do you have here?
That's a Lockheed PV-2 Harpoon.
Now, how old is this plane?
This airplane was built in January '44.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's a fighter plane, or is
They designated as a long-range medium torpedo attack bomber, and used by the Navy and the Marine Corps during the Second World War. The Navy used them for patrol bombing, and the Marine Corps used them as night fighters.
And so they used them during World War II.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Now, how many of these are in existence right now?
They built 1,500 of them, and there are 26 left. And of the 26, there's this one. There's 6 or 7 of them around in museums and different places, and the rest of them are just in different various states of disrepair.
Now, Richard, you go to a number of air shows all over the country. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct.
Like where, for example?
Oh, we a couple weekends ago we were in Atlanta. The weekend before that we were in Lakeland, Florida. The weekend before that we were in Titusville, Florida, and in Punta Gorda. We spent
Y'all
a lot
go
of
all
time.
over.
We go all
Now,
over.
you're part of the Confederate Air Force? Or
Well, we're actually part of the Combat and Transport Aircraft Museum, which is a local museum out of Lafayette.
And I know y'all plan on putting on a show out here in the future here at the airport in St. Andrew Parish. I know we had talked about it at the last airport commission meeting.
Right.
And hopefully it'll come to, that it will be here, you know?
Well, we've been talking a lot, doing some planning. It looks like July the 4th is the weekend that we want to target for putting the air show on. And the normal celebrations that go along with July 4th make it a perfect event.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can get everything lined up by then.
I don't see any problem with it.
Richard, let's go on inside and let's show our viewers some of the inside of the plane and see what it looks like. We're fixing to get on in the plane here. Richard, where'd you get this plane at?
Well, this particular aircraft, this airframe, we found it in Mesa, Arizona. It belonged to a crop duster, and he stored it there 14 years ago. And it took us 18 days to get it up out of the dirt and put rubber underneath it, some tires on it.
You mean he was in the desert like that?
Yeah. Just sat out there, a derelict. And when they used them for agricultural purposes, they chopped them up pretty good and took all the things, everything you could take out of them to lighten them up. And it had a tank in it that we had to pull out, and did just a general major overhaul. We spent 33,000 man-hours on it.
And y'all did most of this yourself?
That's correct. Most of it was volunteer work with folks that belong to the museum.
Richard, what kind of fuel does it use? How much does it use?
Well, we flight plan 185 gallons an hour, and the airplane flies at about 185 knots, so it's a gallon a mile. Now, if you want to go faster, if you want to go 195 knots, it's going to burn 195 gallons an hour. If you want to slow down to 140, it'll burn 140 gallons an hour. But if you want to get it past the 200, then there's an exponential increase in there that's about double.
Really?
On takeoff, this airplane burns 600 gallons an hour.
600 gallons an hour. Okay. Well, all right.
And we also burn 8 gallons an hour oil.
So it is an oil burner.
Yes, it is. We support our industry here.
I'm sure you do. Richard, what kind of guns? I know that's not shotguns on there.
No, this airplane had 14 forward-firing 50 caliber machine guns.
50 caliber.
Right, and then out of the tail it had 2 trailing 50s. And the idea with the 2 in the back was to suppress fire once they'd come across and strafed. This set of guns back here would keep the heads down of the folks that they had just strafed to keep them getting shot at from the back.
Okay. Well, look, let's go on inside now.
All right.
Richard, how much does it cost to operate this plane, and also what does it cost to restore something like this?
You can usually figure the cost of restoration at 3 times what you think it was going to cost.
Yeah.
And the time at 4 times the amount of time you thought it was going to take.
So it's quite expensive to operate, I'm sure.
Yeah, I ended up having to buy my wife a new car and curtains after this was
Well, I can believe that, I promise you. It's a very expensive sport. How many, during the war on this plane here, how many people would be in this plane?
This was crewed by 5 people. You had the pilot, co-pilot, had a radio operator that sat there, and the navigator sat here, radar operator sat there. Right.
I'm here with Ray Benoit. Ray, I appreciate you letting us see your plane, and it's a beautiful plane. I just happened to be walking by and you were standing here. Yeah. What kind of plane is it, Ray?
This is a Seneca. It's a twin-engine Seneca. It has, as you can see, two engines. This is a 77 model. Okay, it's a Seneca 2. They have another version that came out after this, later model. They call it Seneca 3. Very little difference in the basic design. In fact, you probably wouldn't notice any difference.
How fast does this plane fly, Ray?
We'll average cruise. We'll go 160, 180 knots. With a tailwind, I've gone up to 200.
Really? And of course, you do this for a sport. You don't do this for a living.
No, this is strictly sport.
Right. Well, I tell you what, they have a number of planes out here, and of course, we're trying to show our viewers that a lot of people probably here in St. Leonard Parish and Evangeline Parish have never been out to the airport and seen the nice facility. It really has been improved in the last year or so.
It has. The attitude around here has completely changed. We have new owners at the FBO, and pilots love to come around and talk and tell their tale, so to speak. We have a lot of planes out here, and I would like to invite the public to come out and just look at the planes. Bring the kids. Saturday afternoon or Sunday, you're not doing anything, just come over here with the kids and look at the planes. David over here and Matt, Ricky, I'd be more than glad to.
Well, they're all real fine fellows. They'd be happy to show you planes out here.
Right. You might be able to find a pilot that might give you a ride.
Yeah. Well, good. I tell you what, that's what we're going to look for in a little while. That plane, is that all?
39.
have with me right now is Mr. Errol Ami. Mr. Ami, what kind of plane do you have?
That's a 1939 Taylor Craft.
1939?
39.
Okay, I didn't think I had it mistaken. Okay, it's a two-seater.
Two-seater side by side.
And how much fuel does it burn?
3.6 gallons an hour, and he'll cruise about 95 miles an hour on his good days.
Yes, sir.
It's an old airplane. Doesn't even have a starter, no electrical system in it. It's what you call a minimum airplane, a little sport plane.
Tell you what, it really is a cute plane, and of course, I know y'all fixing to go up in a few minutes. We're gonna take some pictures from up over Opelousas right now.
Okay. Yeah, when we have to crank it off by hand. There's no electrical system, no starter or anything in it, not even a generator. So what we'll do, we'll just go ahead and crank it up and let your photographer go up and get some pictures from a 53-year-old airplane.
Well, he's putting his parachute on right now.
It won't do him any good. We're not going to be that high.
Okay, he can jump then.
Oh, yeah. Just go ahead and feel the spare now.
Okay, good. Well, good. I'm going to let y'all go ahead and crank this thing up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ami.
Okay, Byron, we're getting ready to go up in this 53-year-old plane. You think I'm going to be all right? You think I need a parachute or what?
No, I don't believe, Tom. You can make it like that.
Oh, I'm anxious to go up with Mr. Ami. It sounds like a good little flight. And we'll see what happens, what it looks like from up over Opelousas in this 53-year-old. Is that? Well, great. Let's go.
Brake set, throttle crank.
Okay, let's see what's going.
Okay, our first picture we have here that was sent in this week is John Soche, Russell Miller, and Herman Moran with a limit of 15 redfish, 3 large flounders, and 3 black drums. They caught that on May 21st at Grand Isle. That's a pretty picture, isn't it, Rodney?
It sure is. I wish I could have been there to catch those.
That is great. Of course, some of these gentlemen here work at Fire District 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they watch our show every week, Rodney.
Wonderful.
And we appreciate them sending in.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
this
a
next,
friend.
yeah, there's Leonard Ledoux. Leonard has a Quality Inn here in Opelousas. He has a beautiful 8-point, 19-inch spread.
Now, which one's Leonard?
Let us stand in the background.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, 200, he shot that deer 281 yards in the rain. He killed that in South Texas this last winter. So congratulations, Leonard. We appreciate you sending the picture in.
Beautiful buck.
It really is. Okay, our next picture here is a picture of Tommy Collins, with a big bass. He was a big bass winner of a little invitational you're going to talk about in a few minutes.
Okay.
It's a 5.5 pounder, and he caught it on a chartreuse buzz bait. Here we have a picture of Ronald Dago. He's checking in some fish. He's a weighmaster of that Moon Invitational tournament.
Right.
So, and then we're going to go on. They had a real nice tournament there. They really did. Okay, here we have Randy Benoit, Tommy Collins, David Gaines, Donald Gaines, Francis Vidrine, Moon Vidrine, and these are the winners of the Moon tournament. Roddy, don't you have something here?
Yeah, they sent Moon Craig Vidrine sent a little note to us. It says the Moon Invitational Tournament, May 17th, 1992. Yeah, he said 8 boats, 15 fishermen. They caught a bunch. Tommy Collins, as we showed you, won first place with a 5.5 and a 6-pound
Oh, that's
bass
nice fish, huh?
at Caney Lake. So he hopes to say, he says he hopes to do it again next year.
Yeah.
And he's got a telephone number here if you want to call into the station. We'll give it
Well,
to him.
great. I tell you what, we appreciate all these guys sitting in, and they
Absolutely.
caught a bunch of nice fish. And here we have next pictures with Russell Miller, John Soche, and Herman Moran with 11 redfish caught on May 22nd at Grand Isle, and that's caught over there in that
Barataria Bay, right.
Bay. You fished that,
Yeah,
didn't you?
sure.
Well, that's a nice string of fish. It really is.
Beautiful.
We
fish.
appreciate that picture.
They're running
also.
now, too.
They
right?
are, huh?
Mhm.
Now's the time to go then.
Right.
Great. Let's go on, and I think that's all our pictures this week. And of course, Mr. Januso, you have the honor of picking up the winner of the picture of the week this week. Okay, and the winner this week is Russell Miller, John Soche, and Herman Moran. So if any of these gentlemen would come by the studio here, we have a number of gifts, and we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you the gifts that they're going to receive this week. We would like to congratulate our winners this week, and also we have a number of gifts that they're going to receive. We would like to thank Januso Conoco for donating some outboard motor oil, and Mr. Twister sent a number of lures in this for our viewers, and there's some new cyclade lures, Rodney. And,
Never seen those before.
No, and I tell you what, I think these boys can take these and go out and catch them. I know they're going to be happy. And also, we'd like to thank JB Sandals for a new rod that they're going to get also. So, you don't see them like that anymore.
That's an old time.
It really is. And we'd like to thank Neil at JB Sandals. Well, I hope our viewers enjoyed the show so far, but let's go back to the air show. It's going to be on July 4th and 5th, and the gates open at 10 o'clock.
Exactly.
The show starts approximately 11:30.
Both days.
Both days, and they can go out there, they can get their drinks out there, they can get their food. They need to bring an umbrella and some sunscreen.
It's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot, and of course they're going to see an excellent show. The show that y'all saw out here at the airport with that big plane. That's just going to be a sample
That's
of
a
what.
small portion of
That's
what's
a small
actually gonna be
portion.
It'd be beautiful. Great. I'm coming.
You're going to be there,
Oh,
Rodney?
you bet.
Okay, save me a spot right next to you.
I'll be there Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sunday, great.
Good.
Sure, I'm going to come.
All
Bring
right.
all the kids, too.
Oh, it's true. It's going to be a blast. And if anybody has any questions, where can they buy the tickets in advance?
We have advance tickets throughout the whole parish. The best thing they can do is to call my office or the airport, and we can give people, names and phone numbers of who's selling advance tickets closest to your area.
Right. And that's listed as Eagle Air Services.
Eagle Air Services Incorporated.
Okay. And they have a number here if you want to write it down. It's 1-800-737-2357. Or if you live in the Opolis area, it's 942-2591. Great. Well, Ricky, we really appreciate it. And, of course, me and Rodney both on the Airport Authority board. We want to congratulate you for doing an excellent job, and we want much success in this endeavor that you... I know you're putting out a lot of big bucks on this thing, and that we just hope that our citizens in the parish and the surrounding areas come out and support you with this project, and it's going to be worthwhile family fun. So we'd like to encourage everybody to go out. Right, Rodney?
Great, and I may add another thing. When you do go on the 5th or the 4th, you'll want to go back. You want to go back.
Yeah.
And don't you have service to take people somewhere in your aircrafts and
At this particular time, we don't do any type of charter work or what have you, but
you can arrange it later on.
we can arrange charter work through our airport, and naturally we have flight training schools and stuff like that available for the public and what have you. We just want to make the public know that the airport's open, and want to invite everybody to come by just to see it.
That's fantastic, and I tell you what, we're gonna have a show on this air show. I promise you, because it's too good to pass up. And we're going to be out there, so I hope that you be out there. And until next week, we'll see you on Outdoors somewhere. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mags off? Mags are off.
Tommy, won't start?
No, just priming it.
Oh, okay.
I was being facetious.
Hot? Byron, he said he didn't know if he had any gas in it.
Mags on go. Brake set, throttle crank.
Okay, let's see some more.
He was there.
Boy, he was, huh?
I know I could do this like those guys do it.
Yeah, you want to try and catch him in the mouth?
Oh, better not.
That's a good fish, Felix. It really is. He hit you on that worm?
Right when I threw it in. We saw him jump. We saw him hit a couple of those shad and threw it in. That's where he was.
Oh, yeah. Good fish.
It's a little bit bigger than those things you and Nicky were catching.
Yeah, that's some tight eyes, you call that. Well, you ready to try and catch?
Welcome to another Acadiana Outdoors. Today we have a great show today. Of course, I have Representative Dale Satigue with me from Eunice. We're going to be talking about a number of bills that are before the legislature. Also, we're going to have an excellent bass fishing trip. But first of all, I want to thank Dale for coming by. Dale, thank you for coming by.
Byron, thank you. My pleasure.
You know, I'm in Baton Rouge quite often, and of course I see you and Dirk DeVille up there from Ville Platte. And of course we have Charles Hudson and Cravens and Brinkhouse and all of our delegation and
La La, let's not forget La La.
No, we can't forget La La now, you know. And I'm gonna go up there, and of course y'all always have the concern, you know, of the people back home.
Well.
You know, I know y'all always tell me, Dale, is if you're concerned about a bill, give yourself a call. You know, call you up and let the people know what they're concerned about.
That's correct, Byron. You know, it's now with the pulse line and what have you, and the 800 numbers, it's very easy. And I've always encouraged my constituency to let me know how they feel, and I can represent them much better. And you know, I know we disagree, and I got constituencies that disagree, but you got to try to represent the majority of your constituency. And by the telephone calls or the letters that we get and what have you, it's certainly a help for us to understand exactly what our districts are thinking.
Right. You know, a lot of times when I call up there, and of course I call you and La La and the rest, and I'm bugging you. I'm really not. I'm telling you my view on different issues.
You're really not. You know, and I get calls at the office on a regular basis and what have you, and those calls come to Baton Rouge every day. My secretary lists every bill that everyone is calling about and is concerned about and their positions on them. And it definitely makes it's an easier decision for us once we find out what the majority of our constituency is thinking.
Right. Dale, you know, I've been following you ever since you got on the representative. You've been in there for 10 years now, about.
That's correct.
And I want you to know you've done an excellent job.
Well, thank you. And certainly always enjoy hearing those statements.
Always, huh? No, and it's true. I mean, the people of Eunice have to be proud of you because I know you've really done a good job. You really have. Dale, there's one bill up there I wanted you to stop by before. I know you're on your way to Baton Rouge real quick. There's one bill up there I was talking about the other day on the crawfish bill. Will you explain that to me?
Yes, Representative Dirk DeVille is the lead author on that, and I'm a co-author with a lot of other legislators that represent crawfish farmers. As you probably are aware, here a couple of months ago we had some Chinese crawfish that hit the market, and it was cheaper, and some of the restaurants jumped on it right quick. And we all know that crawfish in the Acadiana area is certainly an industry now. Just probably 8-10 years ago we looked at it as a sideline.
it was lagniappe form. Today it has become an industry. A lot of equipment, a lot of boats are being sold because of the crawfish industry that we have down here. The processing plants, we create a lot of jobs by peeling crawfish. I know just in the Eunice area, we probably have 5 or 6 people that are processing crawfish. And all this means jobs, it means money, and it means more sales tax. Not all the sales tax, but more sales tax,
right.
you know.
Of course, you're putting people to work, too,
You're
though,
putting
Dale.
people to work, and, you know, just one boat manufacturer in Eunice told me that he kept on 2 welders this past year building crawfish boats. Those jobs would not have been there hadn't it been for that. So the bill that Representative DeVille and myself and a few others introduced said that all we're asking is that the restaurants let you know when you walk in to sit down to eat that if that crawfish is Louisiana crawfish. If it's Louisiana crawfish, that's fine. If it's not, you know, we're not telling them they can't get crawfish out of China. I mean, we know that there's laws that, but at least notify the people that walk in. Louisiana had a great, I think, opportunity to jump into the catfish, pond catfish farming. Looks like we have lost that to Mississippi. I don't want to see the crawfish industry leave this area. Again, it creates jobs. It's payroll checks in our community and what have you. And if we're going to buy crawfish from China or out of the state of Louisiana, then we are hurting our own economy down here and hurting this industry. And I think it's a good bill. I know that
has it passed the House committee yet?
It has passed the House committee. It came onto the floor this past week on the House floor, and you know, every House bill needs 53 votes to pass. Well, I think we had 1 extra. We got 54 votes on that one. So it has passed the House and is now going to the Senate committee. We're hoping to hear the bill in the committee this week, if not the first part of next week, and get it onto the Senate floor.
Well, that's great. I want to wish you the best of luck with it. Dale, I'm in the crawfish business. I have crawfish ponds, and I went into a store the other day, and when the rumor came out about the Chinese crawfish, and I went into this big store a while back, and I said it on the show. I asked the owner of the store, and I said, let me ask you something. Is this Chinese crawfish that you have packaged here for sale? And he said, well, no, that's local crawfish. I said, well, good. I said, because if it would be Chinese crawfish, I'd move all my business to another store. I want you to know that. He said, well, Brian, you feel pretty strong about it. I said, I sure do. I'm in the crawfish business also. And I said, I want you to support me. I'm going to support you. That's just like Dr. Radosta here in you know Dr. Radosta?
I know Dr. Radosta well.
He has a rolling oil ranch, and he's producing local beef here, and he's buying local grain, and he's, you know, I mean, it's a process here. And
he's keeping our dollars right in the area, and you know, and some people think, well, you know, let's shop and get the best price and what have you. But I still think that the end results is what we have to look at. And even though we can get better prices from China, where are we going to be with the people that are buying, the restaurant people, if our people have no money to go sit down in their restaurant and eat?
That's true.
You know, there are a lot of people that go to our restaurants that go because they are raising crawfish. They are selling crawfish traps. They are selling crawfish boats and what have you. So they can take their family out to that restaurant and eat. But if the Restaurant Association cuts our people off over here, then they're going to have less people to feed. And they may, you know, have plenty crawfish with the China crawfish. And then one other thing about the Chinese crawfish, and I always said let the market take care of itself, and I think it will. We do not know how those crawfish are grown in China. We've heard a lot of rumors, and I'm certainly not on this show to put out bad rumors, but I know that the environmental regulations in China are not environmental regulations here. I know that most of the crawfish you can eat right here comes from irrigation water that we all love to drink right out of the well, right out of the well and what have you. And we grow our crawfish with that, and so you know, I'd be a little bit concerned about eating crawfish that I didn't know where they were grown.
That's true. Well, Dale, I really appreciate you stopping by today, and of course, if there's anything that's coming up before the legislature that our viewers should know, you know, concerning, like you said, the crawfish, or you have any other bills that are coming up, I'd appreciate you stopping by again. Of course, it's always a pleasure
Byron,
to see you.
Let me say that it's certainly a pleasure for me, and I want to thank you all. It's a great opportunity anytime that you can visit with someone on on TV or radio, anywhere in the news media, and I want to thank all TV for having me over here, and let me welcome all the viewers today to please, if they got a view about something, just pick up the phone call, whether you're in my district or not. You're from the Acadiana area, and that's who I represent.
Right. Well, good. Well, thank you a lot, Dale.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And also, right now, Dale, I know you're going to hang around for a few minutes. We're going to go on a bass fishing trip.
Good.
We're going down to Swayze Lake.
Swayze Lake.
That's up around Second Lake, above Palmetto, between Palmetto and LeBeau. It's a lake up there that very, very few people in this part of the parish fish. It's kind of the lost area, I call it, up there.
The winds are not too hot.
Oh, no,
Okay.
it's on the north end. And it's great fishing up there when you hit it right.
I represent fishermen and tickle to death to
Right.
do it, and got real close friends that are big fishermen. But my rule, I've never been able to become a fisherman because my rule has always been keep your feet where you can walk. And I've never been able to catch many fish where I could just stand up and walk away.
Yeah,
from
walk
them.
on the bank. Well, good. Well, let's go ahead and go on our fishing trip.
Very good.
And we're fixing to go fishing this morning. It really is pretty out here. Felix is in the truck right now. We're fixing to go ahead and launch the boat. So hopefully we can catch some fish this morning. You ready to put it in, Felix?
I am ready to go, Byron. We've done this so many times and had to destroy the tape.
That's right, because we wouldn't catch it.
We wouldn't catch a thing.
Is this going to be a fishing trip or an outing?
Well, we would catch so many, we're just too embarrassed to put it on tape. But this is going to be a fishing trip. I think we're going to do real well.
I do too. Let's go.
You want to jump in the boat?
All right, Barn.
Well, here we are. We're ready to start fishing now, Felix. Of course, I'm fishing today with a buzz bait, and you're going to fish with a...
I'm gonna use an old Snagglet Sally. I really, a lot of people don't use them anymore, but that's one of the old.
It's an excellent bait. Hopefully we'll catch some fish today to show our viewers, you know. So let's see if we can't catch some.
You got one, Felix?
Nice little bass.
Well, I'm telling you, huh?
He was there.
Boy, he was, huh?
I know I could do this like those guys do it.
Yeah, you want to try and catch him in the mouth?
Oh, better not.
That's a good fish, Felix.
Yeah.
It really is. He hit you on that worm?
Right when I threw it in. We saw him jump. We saw him hit a couple of little shad and threw it in. That's where he was.
Oh, yeah, good fish.
It's a little bit bigger than those things you and Nikki were catching.
Yeah, that's some tight eyes, you call that. Well, you ready to try and catch one more, maybe?
Another.
What you doing, Felix? You measuring your line?
Yeah, I want to see what I've got left. Well, when you throw a worm up in a pile of moss
That's what happens.
in a cypress tree, usually this happens.
Well, aren't these trees beautiful out here?
They really are.
Got him, Felix?
Yeah, I got a little small one. One of those Nicky brim. Nicky bass. I used to use this as bait.
That's what you used to use for
Yeah,
bait.
until Nicky told me he eats. That's the kind of stuff that Nicky and Byron were
We're catching the other day on the show?
catching the other day and saying they were throwing back in, but actually throwing in the pot.
Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with keeping just a few to eat. You know, talking about catch and release, you know, a lot of times people get bent over backwards about it, but of course, why not keep a few just enough to eat?
Yeah, I guess you have to sometimes, especially when y'all two fish.
Right. You caught him on that worm right there, Felix?
Yeah, I
kind of like the worm. I've gotten where that's just about all I fish. That and a spinnerbait early in the morning. All right, Byron. Where are we?
Right there.
The man's on the scoreboard.
Finally caught me a fish, huh, Flake?
Yeah.
Of course, he's a small one, though.
Yeah, but we can, we'll just tell our viewing audience that we're going to throw this back.
Right.
But I think we're going to keep him.
We're going to keep that one?
Yeah, but don't tell everybody.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me put this one up. Try and go back and catch me another one.
Just may like you. How do you do that?
Like that? All right.
All right, now, you just dropped him on the floor, huh?
Yeah, and let it bounce.
Yeah.
You got one, Flix? Yeah. Where's he at? There he is.
Little small one.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's a nice little fish. Caught him on that worm again, huh?
Yeah. How you doing? All right, Byron.
All right, Flix.
Another one.
Yeah.
They don't have too much size to them, but I mean, the action's really starting to pick up.
It is, isn't it? All right. No. He's a small one, but they're fun to catch, you know? Of course, I'm fishing with a worm also. And they're just tapping it and
There's not much of it. They don't hit it real hard.
no, they don't hit it like they usually do.
But the action's certainly starting to pick up a little bit.
It really is.
Yeah.
We're here at Swayze Lake, second lake out in north end of St. Anna Parish. So, and this area up here is not fished that much. You can see, Felix, we've only seen 2 boats today.
That's right. Now, this is Saturday, and 2 boats is really, you go down to Henderson and
or
compare
somewhere else,
that.
that's where we were going to plan on going fishing, but of course the boats will run you off the lake. Let's go ahead. Let's keep this one so we'll have something to eat.
Well, I tell you what, this is easy.
You got another one, Flix? Oh yeah, you lost him, huh? Yeah. That was a nice little fish, wasn't it?
Yeah, when you play for the camera, it happens sometimes.
Every once in a while.
I had him in the boat, and like I said, when you start playing for the camera, sometimes you don't hit the home run.
Right.
We'll get another one. The whole school of them right down here.
I'm telling you, ain't it? And you're fishing right in the bottom of that old treetop right there.
Right down here, right on this point. When the point's always an excellent place to find bass, and you couple that with a good treetop that's falling in.
And you're kind of jigging it once you get in the top of that tree.
Just kind of jumping.
Uh-huh.
And kind of really effective. That's what these big bass fishermen tell me to do anyway.
So that's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I think it's a small one though, Flix.
Wait, let me. I don't know, Bond. Looks pretty big. About a 2-pounder.
Yeah, almost. Depends on whose show you're on. Show exactly how to do it. Throw your line right out there, Flix, under that big old factory we did too. Not. All right, go ahead and try. Try right by that log right there, Flix.
Yeah, now it's on. All right, Barn. Is that another one?
Yeah. Here's a small one, Flix.
I don't know. Looks like another 2-pounder. On.
Golly, Flix.
I want to give him any slack.
That's a nice fish, Flix. You ever try and get the boat over there for him?
Let me see if I can.
Pull us to him.
Let me see. Maybe I can pull us into it. I'm sure that bass is wondering what in the hell happened to him.
Talk about, huh?
That one has a little size to it.
You know, those others are tight eyes we've been catching.
That's his big brother.
I figured we'd catch start getting some nice ones out of here after we cleaned out those small ones, you know. Wait, don't zig it.
Don't zig it when I should zag it?
Right. Let's see, are you coming to it now?
Yeah, we're getting a little close.
You think I ought to use a troll motor?
Yeah, I got it now. I'm sure that bass is wondering what in the heck has happened to him. Hung up in a tree. Let's see.
Good, you got him, huh, Flix? That's great.
See if I can land in the right way, Byron.
Nice fish, nice fish.
Yeah, that's about a pound, 2 pound bass. I think that's a real 2 pound bass.
Yeah, that's a real 2-pounder. Let me see him. Very good. Uh-huh.
Look, there's another. I tell you, they're starting to jump all around.
I said, shit, I think Carolina, Florida. It's pretty out here, isn't it?
It's beautiful. Now, what do we, you want to go back up to our point?
Yeah, we got to do that because we're not doing any good here. Right there with a spinnerbait and a worm didn't do any good at all. So now we're gonna go back to that point and try and the sun's coming out, they're gonna go deeper right now.
I just hope we don't hit a tree with the way you're driving. Which way are you driving? Which way are you going?
This way.
That's good. That's great to know.
That's where we headed. We're gonna get there. I hope everybody enjoyed our bass fishing trip that me and Felix had gone on. We had a great time, and of course, we ended up with a number of bass, and we brought all those bass out and restocked a pond. The wildlife and fisheries do not stock ponds anymore, so there was a new pond that was being built, so we took those bass and restocked it. So hopefully those bass will all make it to have young ones. We have a number of gifts that it looks like our gifts are growing more and more. The picture of the week. We have Premium Brands Warehouse has graciously donated a bunch of White Rock root beer. And it's excellent root beer. It's like the old-timey root beer. So if you get a chance, stop by and see Joey and pick up some of that White Rock over there. We also have J.B. Sandals has also donated a number of gifts. And Salvador's has put up a $25 gift certificate. And we have some shirts also from Chuck's. And we have all kind of stuff. So don't forget to send in your pictures every week. We'd like to thank Prudham's Bait Stand. They've been sending them in every week, and they have some winners that almost every week they end up with the winners. So if you do have some pictures of some kids catching some fish or whatever, send them in and see maybe you can win. So let's go on to our pictures this week that were sent in. We have some great pictures. Our first picture we have here is Connie and Amy Prudham. Bunch of real nice brim that were caught in the Big Alabama area. And of course, this was sent in by Prudham's Bait Stand. We appreciate that. A great bunch of brim there. Our next picture here is Earl Ormond on the left with a nice bunch of bass. Of course, they didn't say where they caught them, and I don't blame them, but they sure are pretty. Congratulations. Our next picture is a picture of Teddy Manuel and Todd. And there's a bunch of striped bass, and they caught all these at False River. And of course, I hear that those striped bass are really getting big up there right now. This next picture is a 300-pound marlin that was caught by Leonard Ledoux. And of course, Leonard is one of the owners with Frankie Elder of the Quality Inn. And I was by there the other day, and I saw that picture up on his wall, and I said, Leonard, I want to show our viewers this big marlin. And he was happy to loan it to me. It really is pretty, though. And congratulations, Leonard. And our last picture here is a picture of Morris Weinstein with a real nice bass. It sure is a pretty one, and we'd like to congratulate Morris this week on that bass.
And our winner this week of all the gifts is going to be Connie and Amy Prudhomme, a bunch of brim that they called it, Big Alabama. And also we have a gift certificate from Salvador's for $25. So with all the gifts and everything else, I tell you what, she can come by the station here and she can load up. And we appreciate the pictures this week. So y'all remember to keep on sending in the pictures. I had a couple of reminders here I wanted to remind our viewers. The fishing license is going to expire on June the 30th. So if you haven't gone by and got your new fishing license, make sure you do it. And of course, frog season is open. It's open on June the 1st, and there's no limit. And it's closed during the months of April and May. So we just want to remind you, make sure you go out and get your fishing license, and don't forget to wear your life jacket. So until next week, I hope you enjoyed this week's show. And until next week, we'll see you out on the bow bank.
Right there with a spinnerbait and a worm. It didn't do any good at all. So now we're going to go back to that point and try and, the sun's coming out, they're going to go deeper right now.
I just hope we don't hit a tree with the way you're driving. Which way are you driving? Which way are you going?
This way.
That's good. That's great to know.
That's where we headed. We're going to get there.